Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've been thinking a lot about Mary Simon, that Governor General. Do you remember like right before Christmas where Pierre Poilievre had written to her to ask her to use her authority to inform Justin Trudeau to reconvene Parliament and have a vote, a confidence vote. And I was thinking at the time I was traveling with my friend who was a CBC cameraman. Now, he left many, many years ago, and he always says, I left in disgust, right? He just became very disenchanted with the TV industry. But when this news came out about Pierre writing to Mary Simon, I was kind of thinking, well, who has the power? Does she have the power to supersede him? Or does he have the ultimate power? Or how does this work? It's not something that, I know a lot about. And so we were looking up articles, and the CBC had an article saying, well, basically she did the right thing and she followed the Constitution. And actually, let me show you this article here. Basically saying since Trudeau still had the confidence of the House on paper when he went to Simon, it's normal under the Constitution for the Governor General to prorogue Parliament at his advice. So again, when you look at that article, it's just making you think, well, she's got to listen to him. She can confer with him, she can consult with him. They can talk about it, but what is the point if she's going to do what he wants anyway? There's another article. This is from December. This is CTV. Sometimes you hope for like a modicum of truth or an inkling of truth from these media outlets, but you still get a lot of BS, right? Look at this headline here. Can the Governor General do what Pierre Poilievre is asking? This expert says no. Oh, geez, no, the expert said. Okay, well, I guess I better listen to the expert, right? Can the Governor General do what the Conservative leader is asking? In a word, no, said this law professor, blah, blah. She has one prime minister, and we wouldn't want it otherwise, he said. She doesn't take advice from the opposition leader. You can send her letters, but she doesn't take her direction from him. That's not what we're asking. That's not really the question. The question is, does she have the power over Trudeau? And I also interviewed a reporter who said Mary Simon is just no. The prime minister is the prime minister, and she's just like a figurehead. She's just a representative of the monarchy, a representative of the king. She basically just hands out ribbons or doesn't really do much. So I don't even know why we have her if she's just going to be this useless blob in the first place. So it wasn't until 2 days ago that I came across this article, and then I came across a clip on Twitter, and I think this guy is fantastic. I mean, this guy finally says it, nails it. Have a look at this.
Tell me a little bit about what you wrote this article about the Governor General's role and what she did wrong when Justin Trudeau asked for prorogation. Can you break that down for folks?
Yeah, I mean, prorogation is in some ways just a perfectly normal thing that'll happen in a parliament. A prime minister can ask for a parliament to be prorogued, for a whole host of reasons, most of which are usually pretty normal. There's nothing implicitly sinister about it. But in this case, it looks like it's pretty clear that the reason that Trudeau asked for prorogation is because he was trying to avoid facing Parliament. Over the holidays, Jagmeet Singh, really, which is the most important thing, he had announced that the NDP would no longer support the government, and the government
the bloc.
The bloc had already announced that. Yeah. The Conservatives, of course, were saying that they were going to support the government. So Trudeau has a minority government. He needs the confidence of Parliament in order to govern. He doesn't have a majority government. He hasn't had a majority government since 2019. Mm-hmm. And so that is really the most important thing that you have to keep in mind, is in our parliamentary system, the Prime Minister, the government needs the confidence of Parliament. And it became clear over the holidays that the Trudeau government did not have the confidence of Parliament. So that's the key first thing.
Right.
And then, so when a Prime Minister goes to the Governor General and asks to prorogue Parliament, the Governor Generals have very, very little role in our system aside from giving out awards, and that's a good thing, right? That gone are the days when we have kind of monarchs who have real power, but they have really one major power that they still need to wield, and this is the reserve power to essentially say to a prime minister, mostly, yes, you can dissolve Parliament, we can call a new election, etc., except in cases, which is exactly what this case is, where a prime minister does not hold the confidence of Parliament, and he or she are trying to avoid going back and being voted out of office. And that's exactly the situation we find ourselves in. And the travesty of this is that, probably very few people know this. I doubt even the Governor General herself knows a lot about her role here, is that her role here was to say no. This was a clear case where a Prime Minister does not have the confidence of Parliament. That was very clear for weeks. And I'm not talking about public opinion polls, which in some ways don't matter. What matters is the members of Parliament who are the representatives of the people have said, their leaders have said they don't have confidence. So the Governor General should have said to Trudeau, actually, this is not the time to do that. You should go back and face Parliament at the time you said you're going to face Parliament, and we'll see if the people's representatives have confidence in you.
Thank you to Michelle Fieri and True North for that clip. I would love to interview that guy. But here's also, just look at the headline of his article. This guy doesn't really mince words, so he's my kind of guy. I like it. Here's what he had to say. Governor General betrays Constitution by letting Liberals escape Parliament. With all the uncertainty about just exactly who is leading the Liberal Party and when an election might be called, one thing is crystal clear. Governor General Mary Simon was wrong to approve Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's request to prorogue Parliament. She should have flat out refused. Love it. I mean, like I said, he ain't mincing words, right? As the representative of the Crown and the nation, the Governor General has one major reserve power: to dissolve or prorogue Parliament and to decide if a government can shut down that Parliament or delay meeting it. He also thinks that Michaëlle Jean should have refused Harper's request back in 2008. That she didn't do so, he says, is an embarrassment to her own knowledge of her role and that of her advisors. But the situation is vastly different today. Intentionally or not, she has allowed herself and her office to be used as the Liberal Party's stool pigeon. I mean, you got to read this article, and people are not happy with this woman because people are on to this. This account is always a good follow. Mary Simon hands out People's Awards citing democracy, diversity, and inclusion for all, only days after betraying the country by not dissolving Parliament due to a loss of confidence in the House. Mary Simon is now one of the most hated people in Canada. Oh, okay, let's look at this.
Governor General Mary Simon presents awards in commemoration of the Persons case on the 95th anniversary of Persons Day.
Persons
The award
Day?
recipients are recognized for their contributions to the advancement of gender equality.
Oh,
In the spirit of reconciliation, I also want to acknowledge that we gather on the traditional territory.
oh, who
of the
cares?
Confederate-
Gosh, I'm so over virtue signaling where you're standing. God, are you supposed to feel guilt that you're standing with your own 2 feet in Canada? You're supposed to like guilt the hell out of everybody? They do this at school assemblies. They do this before every press conference. It's meaningless. These are just meaningless words. Let's make one thing very clear. Mary Simon is a Trudeau DEI hire who was put in power for exactly this reason. We can officially add the GG to the long list of traitors in this country. Ooh. Mary Simon never worked for Canada. She only worked for Trudeau, and allowing this prorogation proves she's getting whatever she can before she's gone also. Mary Simon betrayed Canadians today in the service of the Liberal Party. We need to make sure she is Canada's last Governor General. Burn it down. Honestly, why do we have these people if they don't do what they need to do in unique circumstances when unique things need to be done? How she just bent the knee to Trudeau or whatever she did. Okay, one more comment. The GG in proroguing Parliament has allowed the Liberal government to escape a vote of confidence, betraying the very system of government she has been put in a position of authority to protect. Governor General Mary Simon did not have to grant Trudeau's request to prorogue Parliament. Ooh, Mary, quite contrary. Mary, where are you going? What did you do? People are mad at you, and deservedly so. What are you thinking? Anyway, as mentioned before, this actually didn't work for Boris Johnson. He tried to prorogue Parliament. In 2019, the British Supreme Court threw out then Prime Minister Boris Johnson's suspension of Parliament after a Scottish woman and an English woman each filed legal challenges against a 5-week pause that interrupted a Brexit dispute. So, okay, well, he didn't get away with it. And also in this country, in Canada, many people will remember Michael Jean granting Stephen Harper his request to prorogue Parliament. And let's have a look. I always like to walk down memory lane, as you know. Let's have a look.
It's hard to remember now that Stephen Harper used to be the agent of change.
Friends, our great country has voted for change.
O'Hare.
Harper was the new broom out to clean up Ottawa, reform the Senate, bring down taxes.
Our government believes in lower taxes.
He only had a minority, but he did lower taxes and insisted that he would balance the budget despite the looming recession.
I believe there's every reason we can stay in surplus. That's what we've planned for.
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
But only a month later, a huge deficit was in the works. Then, as the opposition joined forces to bring him down, Harper shut down Parliament.
On my advice, the Governor-General has agreed to prorogue Parliament.
Harper survived, but earned a control freak image, which he tried in vain to soften. Harper did get by with a little help from the attack ads he aimed at his rivals, Liberal leader Stéphane Dion.
Stéphane Dion is not a leader.
Then Dion's successor,
Michael Ignatieff, just visiting.
It seemed to work. Finally, the Liberal vote collapsed and Harper won the majority that he wanted. He hardened his line at home and abroad, ramming through tough on crime laws and proclaiming that Canada was not just a peacekeeper, but a militant power and Israel's best friend. He spoke to the Israeli Knesset last year.
Through fire and water, Canada will stand with you.
But Harper's brand of politics made him increasingly unpopular. In a eulogy for his fallen finance minister, Jim Flaherty, Harper noted ruefully that even Flaherty's enemies liked him.
That's something in this business. Something I envy. I can't even get my friends to like me.
But Harper's response to last year's shooting on Parliament Hill showed both sides of the man. He embraced his rivals in Parliament, unprecedented from a man whose instinct was to attack. But he soon introduced a sweeping security bill that divided the country. But the fact is that Harper's tactics worked. For nearly 10 years, he held power and kept his promise to lower taxes. But in the end, being disliked was something that even he could not control. Tori Malewski, CBC News, Ottawa.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem that disliked now. People remember him fondly. I was living overseas at the time, and I had a young baby at the time, and I was not paying attention to politics. But if you read the comments here, Trudeau has made Harper's legacy shine. Harper was the best PM since MacDonald. I am proud to display the picture of the two of us together. Greatest Prime Minister of all time. I miss Stephen Harper. Canada didn't know how good they had it. What a contrast between then and now. Mr. Harper actually shook my hand, and I will always love him. Okay. I think all Canadians owe Harper an apology. He called it out exactly right about Trudeau. I can say that while he was the boss, I never woke up every day hating the Canadian government. Wow. Yeah. People do look back on him more fondly than what we got going on right now. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching this video. It's always fun to look back at the old pictures and remember all the old names. It's so easy to forget all this stuff. If you like my channel, please subscribe. To anyone that has already subscribed, thank you so much. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, and doing all those fantastic things, because it really does help a small channel grow. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think about Mary Simon. People are not impressed with this woman and the whole role of the Governor General. What kind of nonsense is this going forward? You know, maybe they just need a massive, massive pay cut. Maybe it should just be a part-time employee with, give them $20 a shift, something like that. I don't know. Okay, thanks for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one.